of habeas corpus do issue directing the Inspector General of Police and also the Director of Public Prosecutions to immediately produce the bodies of Gideon Kibet, Ronnie Kiblangat, Steve Kavingo Mbisi, Billy Mwangi, Peter Muteti, Bernard Kasavuli, Kelvin Mudhoni at Kibra High Court on a day to be given by the High Court, or alternatively, the said person be forthwith released and set at liberty. And in order to put this thing into its perspective, the applicants have been reported missing. And we are a country governed by the rule of law. And under the Constitution, Article 49 of the Constitution is very clear that any arrested person should and must be brought before the court as reasonably as possible and not later than 24 hours. So it is our assertion that if these people are being arrested by the police, then as a country governed by the rule of law, the state had a duty to produce the applicants within 24 hours. But they have not done so. That's why we've gone to court to seek the order of habeas corpus. And in any way, even for argument's sake, if at all the applicants are not within the custody of the police, then still it is the duty of the state through the National Police Service and all the state agencies to ensure protection of its citizens. And if I may conceptualize the question of the state, I'll refer you to the writings of one eminent legal scholar called Jean Rousseau, who said that as the people we surrendered our rights to the state so that we can receive protection. So we expect of any government to protect its own citizens. But if the government is to abdicate that responsibility, then still there is what you call the doctrine of inherent self-defense by the people. If at all the citizen cannot protect its own people, then the people, they have a right, inherent right to bear arms for self-defense. And we believe if that in stage were to be arrived at, then it will invite in us to anarchy, which we do not wish. That's why we are saying that as a country governed by the rule of law, the Constitution is very clear that any arrested person should be brought forth within 24 hours. So we are demanding of the state, of the respondents, that is the Inspector General of Police and also the Director of Public Prosecutions, that they do produce the bodies of the applicants, whether alive or dead. Thank you.
For the record, I am appearing alongside Felix Keaton for the applicants and also for Honorable Senator Okia Omtatah. Yes, just to reiterate, the issue is that we have had abductions in the recent past, which abductions have hit the limelight. And therefore, we are calling upon all the investigative agencies to swing into action with maximum speed and minimum delay so that the bodies, or rather, the missing persons can be produced, whether dead or alive. As you are aware, both the President and Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga cautioned all of us that abductions must stop. We should not limp back to the days of forced disappearances, senseless killings, and kidnappings. That is why today, as my colleague has said, we have made an habeas corpus application so that the missing persons can be produced by all the responsible investigative agencies. Thank you very much.
Instead of celebrating the end of the year, and as we welcome a new year, we are out here looking for our fellow citizens who have been kidnapped or abducted from their homes. They have been forcefully disappeared. And under international treaties, the treaty against forceful enforced disappearances, which Kenya has signed but yet to ratify, forced disappearance is a crime. So the crime is happening, and I would like to warn the President that under Article 143, Clause 4, his immunity does not extend to crimes that can be prosecuted under international treaties. And Last time he undertook, when he was in Homa Bay, he undertook to end abductions. They have continued. The first step towards ending abductions would have been to release those who have been abducted, and then saying that going forward, nobody else will be abducted. If anybody has made a mistake, let them be arrested, let them be prosecuted. And the advocates here and others in the role of advocates in Kenya will ensure that those accused, and the judges will ensure that those accused get justice. In our national anthem, we say that justice be our shield and defender. Today, when you sing the national anthem, it doesn't belong to this country anymore. It belongs to a different country. And so the demand upon the president, as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, as the chairman of the Security Council, who under Article 238, security is defined as the protection of the people and their property. Under our Bill of Rights, the personal freedom is a right. So to take people and confine them to using extrajudicial means is inviting the population, as Land Council has said, is inviting the population to disregard the law and take the law into its own hands to survive, because we are not going to be sitting ducks. Personally, I'm very, very attached because Bob Njagi was kidnapped a few hours after leaving my office. He was kidnapped on a matatu and was detained for very many days. On 24th, Bet Bull was kidnapped after leaving my office on a matatu to Kikuyu. I will also call upon anybody who witnessed the kidnapping to come forward and tell us what happened, because I gave my personal assistant and my driver to take Mr. Kibet in my vehicle because he said he was not familiar with the town, and since he had called saying he wanted to meet me before he travels to Israel he was supposed to travel to Israel to join the University of Tel Aviv on Friday, past Friday. He had wanted to meet me just to make an acquaintance with me and also to talk to me so that he could understand my political philosophy, which he said he wanted to use to inform his cartoons, because he said he was my strong supporter and I was a supporter of what I do. So the young man was supposed to come at 3 p.m., but he arrived at 11 early. I was in the office. I said, no problem. He said there was no traffic on the road, so he came. And we stayed from 11 to about 4:30. And interestingly, in hindsight, there's a vehicle which came, which had the communication intercepting gadgets on top. It was a Subaru Forester. It parked outside my office across the road. My security people saw it and got concerned.